Hello, hello. It's Jacqueline back for another installment of my cooking class in my kitchen. Super excited that you're here to maybe find another amazing meal that's going to be put on the table and your family's going to absolutely fall in love. Yes, I'm sure this is going to be one of those. In fact, I have my son here visiting right now, and I asked him, which meal would you like to have? And I literally let him snoop through the catalog here. As you can see, we've got a lot of different choices. And he decided Philly cheesesteak. So welcome to my cooking class of Philly cheesesteak. I'm not sure. If you've made it, let me know. Post your name below. Let me know where you're popping in from. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to maybe switch this out a bit for you, but also give you some really fun food facts about Philly style cheesesteak. Okay. All right. So they say if you're not learning, you're probably dead, because you should make it your mission to always improve. And I want to let you know that I was out shopping on the weekend. Hi, Joanne. And while I was out shopping, I found this mushroom cookbook. Well, it's not a cookbook, but I guess it sort of is. It's so you can forage for mushrooms. And the reason I did that is I have an assistant that always says she goes out getting mushrooms, and I want to take care of her, but I would like to go with her sometime soon. And so we were discussing mushrooms. Have you seen white and brown mushrooms at your grocery store? Well, when I was grabbing the recipe ingredients, I found both. And here's the fun food fact on this. This is crazy. They're actually the same family, but they are totally different. I'm going to tell you, not only is there a difference in color and they're the same species, this is sort of like a red pepper. This is like a green pepper. This is a young mushroom. And when you actually even just touch the mushroom, you can feel that it's softer and more moist. This, on the other hand, is, I don't want to say woody, but you can tell that there's less moisture in here. So surprise, surprise, they were exactly the same price. And I thought, okay, I want to show you this. I thought, I'm going to do a comparison. Okay, let me find a good one. Check this out. Can you see? They are totally, the brown one, I'm going to tell you, is going to have more flavor because it's not got as much moisture in it. So here's my tip for getting into your grocery store. If you find in your grocery store that you have brown mushrooms, I'm going to tell you, and they're the same price, buy them. Because I'm going to tell you, if there's less moisture in them, I'm going to guarantee that there's going to be better flavor in them. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, all that water, because when we fry them up and things like that, all we're doing is trying to get rid of the moisture. So my recommendation, if you see brown, buy them. Now, unless they're really expensive, don't do that. Okay, the other thing that we learned today when I was talking with my assistant is, wow, did you know portobellos are in the same family as white mushrooms? How can that be? I'm like, I think we need to go find another resource. I can't believe that, because portobellos are huge. But no, apparently it's true. Portobellos are the same species, and they are just growing longer. I still think I need to investigate that. Hi, Lisa. I think that's crazy. How do they get so big and not turn brown? Okay, so there's my thought process. So anyway, when you are cutting these, and just so you know, I'm using my ceramic knife, my flexible cutting board, but I basically chopped all these up, and we're going to put these in a big bowl. Okay, now what else are we going to put in this bowl? Well, we're going to put in some peppers. So I've got a red pepper here. So I'm just going to chop around here. Now, I'm not sure how you cut your peppers, but you know, the cost of red peppers are so darn expensive. So this is something I usually do. I usually just cut right there, and then I will just remove my few of my seeds. I will literally just take off the top, right? All I'm left with is a stem, throw that away. But that's a really great way to get every last little bit of your red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper, green pepper, and as you heard me sort of showcase that earlier, all those peppers are exactly the same as well. They're just picked at different stages of their growing cycle. So, how many of you have made our Philly style cheesesteak? Are you ready for some fun food facts on this? Because if you've tried it, I do want to let you know it's one of my family's favorite. I love it. Today I'm actually going to cook it with chicken. You don't need to use it with beef, but let's talk about how Philly cheesesteak actually started. So it goes back to about 1950s roughly. And Philly cheesesteak, actually, if you're going to make the authentic one, you're going to use ribeye steak. Now, I don't know if you know that, but that is a really expensive cut of meat. Hi, Kim. Anyway, that's a really expensive kind of meat. And so if you're on a budget right now and you're really trying to cut costs, you could use sirloin steak if you prefer. A lot of Philly cheesesteak places will actually mix ribeye with sirloin, so that's sort of their little cheat. But today, I'm actually going to be doing it with chicken, of course. You know me. So yeah, I'm doing Philly cheese chicken steak. I don't know, what do we call it? Got any good ideas? I think it's just Philly cheesesteak because I've got the flavor. I don't think it really matters. So the other thing about Philly cheesesteak that I wanted to tell you is now when you go to a Philly cheesesteak place, usually, are you ready for this? This is gonna gross you out, I think, maybe. They use Cheez Whiz. Okay, hello, cheese on Cheez Whiz containers is actually spelled with a Z. That should be a first indicator to you going, it's probably not cheese. You know, they're right. It's not cheese. It's like an imposter cheese. Give me a second. I want to explain this before I go on. Today I'm using my mandolin, my 4-in-1 mandolin. It comes, of course, with 3 blades here. I've got 1 blade here. And I love this because you can see that it's got nice metal tangs. So when you stick your product in there, it really grips. And I just thought I'd showcase this so you could see how quickly it cuts. Now, here's a little tip. If you don't want these great big huge, slices and you're chopping them like that, what you may want to do is just give it a little cut when you're doing this. Don't go, of course, all the way through. And now it's cutting for you. But how quickly, and notice that it's got a plunger on the top that I can just literally push the plunger down so there's practically nothing left. Got it? Okay, love the 4-in-1 mandolin. All right, then we'll get our bowl over here. Scoop our onion in here. Okay, so let's go back to cheese now. Okay, so the cheese that originally was used was provolone cheese. Okay, and I'm not sure about you, but I don't usually tend to have a whole bunch of different cheeses in the house. I do usually have cheddar and I usually have mozzarella. Give me a second, I'm just checking my oven. It's at 350 degrees. Okay, anyway, so going back to the Cheez Whiz. Okay, so it used to be provolone, they used real cheese, but now a lot of places use Cheez Whiz. It's not real cheese, guys. Go read the label. In fact, the label, from what I understand, because I don't buy that, has apparently 27 different products on the back of the package, none of which says cheese. The only thing closest to cheese is the whey, which is the liquid that you get when you make cheese. So they're using the byproduct of cheese making. So I guess it does have a little bit of something cheesy in there. It was actually created, are you ready for this? Canadian, yeah, gay go. That is actually a Canadian food scientist actually came up with this. Okay, now we're gonna put in some oil. That was the package, by the way. We're gonna put in roughly about a tablespoon. Actually, he came up with this Cheese Whiz kind of thing, and it did originally have some cheese in it. Now, the reason that they came up with it, and actually it goes back to Kraft cheese, is they wanted to have a cheese product that was good for Welsh rabbit. Yeah, that doesn't mean a little bunny bump popping down the road. Rarebit is what it really is, but a lot of people call it Welsh rabbit. Anyway, so they actually had created this special cheese just for that market in the in the UK, United Kingdom. So that went all the way over there and was so well liked that they ended up bringing it back to the United States in 1950. So 1949 is where they invented Cheese Whiz. But it's really been modified over the years to the point where now they actually don't say there isn't any cheese in it, but they won't tell you how much cheese is. And I personally, after looking at the labels that I could find online, I'm thinking it's probably just the whey. So I guess they're sort of saying, well, it did touch cheese at one point. So that's a little strange. So anyway, so I've got my bowl here. I'm using my Grip and Grabs. Love these if you're height challenged like me, you can actually use these to grab cans out of the top of your cupboards. Love them. And I have a few sets. They're also really good if you have a buffet line this summer. So the couple things that I'm using that look like this today, I'm going to be using my flipper as well. So these are in the kitchen utensil set. If you like these products, my recommendation is host your own cooking class. It can be a virtual class, an in-person cooking class if you live close. And we can get those products to you as a host, free or discounted. So why pay full price when the company is going to literally give you a whole bunch of freebies and perks? So now I'm going to get my baking sheet. Oh, someone's waving to me. That's really nice. How cute. Okay, so this is my baking sheet, and you probably have a baking sheet like this at home, but do you have the liner? If you don't have, now this baking sheet is really old, but seriously, doesn't it look practically like new? I love these baking sheets. These are seriously something that every family needs to have, or every household. Forget about the family. You just need them. You really do. Because your product's not going to stick. It's got a lip on it, which prevents it from, the liquid getting underneath. Because if you're just using parchment paper, which is what I used to use before, I always found that if I had something liquidy, it would run underneath and get really, really icky and sticky underneath there. And again, I'd have to be scrubbing my pan, and let's face it, this size doesn't fit into your sink very well. So it's a bit of a mess in the kitchen, and I just hate that as well. So anyway, buy your liners. They come in 2 different sizes. The standard size, which basically fits probably the pans that you have in your kitchen right now. But we also have a 1/4 sheet size pan, and it comes with, but you can purchase the liners for that, and you get 2 of them. So when you buy the 1/4 sheet pan, you get 2 pans, and when you buy the 1/4 sheet pan liners, you get 2 liners. And they literally are half the size. Now, if you're wondering, okay, why do they call it a 1/4 sheet pan when this is a full size? Actually, this is a half size. The industrial size is the full size, which probably wouldn't even fit into your oven. It won't. I know it won't, because it goes from side to side and it's too deep. You won't be able to shut your doors. Okay, so the directions for this Philly cheesesteak literally said, in a large bowl, which you saw me do that, add some beef strips. Use chicken if you prefer. That's what I did. Then I added bell peppers, sliced mushrooms, my yellow onion, my seasoning, a little bit of oil. I tossed it to coat it. I put it on a single layer on my lined baking sheet. Hello, you're gonna love me. We've got our oven at 375 degrees. We're gonna pop it in for 15 minutes, but I'm not gonna be having you watch this. Give me a second. I've got the TV version. I'm gonna pop that one in and get my cooked one out. Yikes, probably should have used. Okay, so this is how it's going to come out. That looks absolutely delicious, right? Okay, now it is called cheese sticks. So why not use the real stuff? So what you're gonna do And if you go to Philly cheesesteak places, by the way, a lot of them used to use cheese slices. So if you just have cheese slices, go for it. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna divide your cheese into your serving size. And just so you know, this package of Philly cheesesteak says it's a family of 6, okay? I'm not using cheese slices, so it's not really necessary for me to break it into 6 different sizes, but I'm just gonna sprinkle some cheese on the top here. And all we're gonna do is we're just gonna put it in the oven for another, I don't know, couple minutes, just so the cheese sort of melts. And while that's happening, let me grab this. I'm gonna talk about the buns you put it on. All right, okay, so let's talk buns. So actually, Philly cheesesteak is usually done with hoagie buns, and I live in a really small town. It's not like there's a hoagie shop down the road that's baking buns for me. So what kind of buns do you use? Well, what you're gonna wanna look for is a bun that's light and airy, but maybe has a crispy outside. That again, in a small little town, is pretty impossible to find. But so I did buy some of these buns, but now they weren't crispy on the outside. What do? Well, how about putting them on the quarter sheet pan? I just sort of sliced them a bit, and while I was preheating my oven, I just toasted them for about 5 minutes. So they're not brown, but they do have a crispy outside now. And because I've toasted them a little bit, when I pulled the Philly cheesesteak out of the oven, all the moisture is not gonna soak in and make my sandwich soggy. Does that make sense? So I hope you've learned a lot in this cooking class. Let's just give me another, I'm gonna get a proper oven mitt this time. That was a little hot pulling it out the last time. But as you can see with the products that I've used today, there's lots of amazing, great products that we carry at Epicure. And our goal is to just make life really simple for you. Raw to ready meals in 20 minutes or less. You know, I'm not even at the 20-minute mark. But seriously, this recipe, you just toss it and throw it together and stick it in the oven for 15 minutes and it's practically done. So I'm just gonna move this off to the side. I am going to look for, probably should mention racks because I am pulling it out and it is a little toasty. A couple different racks that we have. This is, of course, your baker's rack, and you get 2 of these. This one I love. This is a roll-up rack. You can see it takes no space to store it. It was over top of my island because it'll give you some more workspace, but I also find it's really good, like if you're doing turkey dinners or pulling out big dishes out of the oven, like lasagna or anything like that. It's sort of nice to just have it right on your counter by your oven, so you can just put things on here and it's going to protect everything. So let me go get my cheesesteak. I'll be right back. Okay, so there is my cheesesteak. Doesn't it look delicious? Now all we need to do is we're gonna get some cheese. I think it looks amazing. Of course, I don't have a plate here, but that's okay. Just scoop this on. And you know, I'm just looking at this going, okay, the package that it's served, and you can see, like, I'm really stacking this on. I wanted to give you one more great tip. Okay, so doesn't that look delish? No mayonnaise. You never put mayonnaise on a cheesesteak. The other thing is on our package, it actually has green. That's another thing you would never put on a real cheesesteak. But I'm gonna tell you, this version is so much healthier. Your family is gonna love it. Like I said, my son is out here right now, and that was his request. Philly cheesesteak, Mom. They're off skiing right now, so when they come back, they're gonna have a nice, tasty Philly cheesesteak meal. Looks great. Thanks everyone for watching today. Come on back, and if you have any questions, let me know. If you're looking to purchase some of these products, you can go onto my website. Anyway, I'm totally here every Thursday. We'll see you back here 3 o'clock Pacific time. Enjoy yourself. Have fun in your kitchen, and we'll talk to you again another time really soon. Oh, and one more thing I should mention. We have a special. If you're watching what I'm doing and you're thinking, I can do this too, I want to let you know, You can join the business for $25 right now. Yeah, clean your ears. You heard me right. $25 and you can get your Epicure business started. So reach out to me privately if you would like more information on that. I have an opportunity event on Saturday morning you can pop in and listen to. I'm totally here for you and I would love to share the success of Epicure with you. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.